Welcome to the Beauty Moves podcast. I am your host, Coyetta Tamara, and your guide on this transformative journey. This podcast is your ultimate destination for inspiration, actionable strategies, and real talk conversations about building a successful business while becoming the best version of yourself. We'll dive into topics that empower you to elevate your skills, grow your brand, and navigate the challenges of entrepreneurship with confidence. You will hear from industry experts, learn the secrets behind thriving businesses, and discover the mindset shifts that will set you apart in a competitive world. So whether you're starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, you're in the right place. Together, let's take bold action and make your vision a reality. Let's make beauty moves. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Beauty Moves podcast. I hope you all are having an amazing day. The weather's getting warmer. My goodness, I'm so happy for that because, winter needs to go. It needs to go. And of course, the issue here for me is that my body is feeling the changes and I'm just getting warmer and warmer. And that's the only part of the weather getting warmer that I don't enjoy. It's like that perimenopausal stuff just coming back into play. When the winter was here, it disappeared, but I can already feel it. Even though the temperatures are still cold, I can feel the difference in my body. Stuff that we have to go through as women, right? And here's another thing that we have to face as women, and that is the fear of being visible. And I mentioned it last week that's what I'm going to touch on. Again, y'all know I'm launching a book. I wrote a book, Brain Interrupted, Outsmarting the 5 Mental Traps Holding You Back. And these are just some of the things that I have gone through, that I know you have gone through. And I'm going to touch on visibility today. It's the fear of being seen. And because I know that there's a version of you that actually wants more, and another version that hopes nobody notices, right? There's two sides of you. The tension. And when you sit in that for a second, you'll see it, because if you're honest, you know exactly what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. You want the bigger room, you want the impact, you want the expansion, you want to stop playing small. But when it actually comes time to step forward, something in you whispers, yeah, maybe not like that. Like you're on Instagram and you see all the girls doing it big and you're like, yes. But you get an email in your inbox asking for you to speak or do something, and you suddenly try to make yourself small, right? You mentor everyone else, you'll push your team, and you'll tell your clients to raise their prices. You'll tell your friends to go for it. Go for it, girl. But when it's your name at the top, when it's your face on the graphic, when it's your words being quoted, there is silence. There is silence, and you suddenly get very thoughtful, very careful, very edited, because visibility feels like you're exposing yourself, and it is an exposure. And exposure feels dangerous of some sorts, right? It feels like you're being seen in a way that you don't want to be seen in. Not necessarily in a light, because that you're going to be seen in a good light if you're doing something productive, impactful. But because you're not used to the spotlight, or you don't necessarily like it being in the spotlight, it can feel dangerous. So let me tell you what happened this week for me. I was reading my own bio for my book launch, and I had written a sentence that was bold. It was bold, it was clear, it was very confident, and it felt aligned. And then I read it again. And then suddenly my brain started negotiating. Is that too much? Is this going to sound arrogant? Should I soften that? Maybe I should say, I try to instead of I do. Maybe I should make it sound more humble, right? Have you done that to yourself? You try to downplay what you've done? Because I caught myself editing down my power in real time. In real time. No one told me to. No one criticized me. No one pushed back. It was authentic to who I am and what I do. And it still made me pause. It still was an internal conversation, right? An internal argument, an internal pull. I even hovered over delete on a sentence that I was actually proud of, on something I actually did. And it's not because it's not a true statement. It was strong, it was right. But what happened is it felt risky. It felt risky when you spent years being the responsible one, the one that is agreeable, right? And I had this quiet thought. What if people think I've changed? And that's when I realized that it's not that I was afraid of failing publicly. I've been afraid of being fully seen publicly, and those are not the same thing. Being afraid publicly and being afraid of being fully seen publicly are not the same. Because failure is not what you're concerned about, it's the exposure, it's the fear of exposure. And exposure is revealing. You feel like you're bearing your soul. It's like someone, you wear a bomb outfit, right? And then you know it looks good. Like that's why you wore it. Like you feel confident in it. But as soon as someone says, "Hey girl, that looks good," somehow it makes you feel like, "Oh girl, don't look at me." Like I know, but don't tell me, right? Someone says, "Girl, that looks good." And then another person says, "Yeah, girl, like, oh my God, I love that." And then it's like, "Oh, don't look at me. Like I know I look fly, but don't look at me." Right? So exposure is revealing. That's on a smaller scale, but you know what I mean? It's revealing because if you're fully seen, it means you can't hide behind overworking anymore. You can't hide behind that anymore. You can't hide behind your credentials. You can't hide behind staying busy. You can't hide behind any of that. So it's scary because when you step forward clearly, people can see you, like all of you, your voice, your confidence, your evolution. And if you've been that strong one, and I've been having a lot of conversations about that strong one, you've learned early that standing out can shift relationships. It can shift relationships. It can invite commentary. People be talking about, yeah, she this, she that. It can make people feel uncomfortable. It can make people look at themselves and be uncomfortable with themselves, and then therefore allow them to speak of you in not the best light, right? It can allow competition, jealousy, not from you. That's why I said commentary, because it could be for the good or for the bad. And so because you don't want that smoke, you don't want that energy, you don't want all of that attention. This episode of Beauty Moves podcast is brought to you by Zensurance, because building your dream business is exciting, but protecting it is essential. Whether you're a stylist, salon owner, content creator, or service-based boss, Zensurance offers business insurance quotes that fits your unique needs. They make it simple, affordable, and stress-free to get protected so you can scale without fear. Click the link in the show notes to get your free quotes in minutes. That's Zensurance, insurance designed for business owners like us. Your brain does something subtle. What does it do? It tells you to shrink a little, Just a little bit, just a little, just enough to stay safe. Like, yeah, we don't need to be that big. We don't need to do things on such a grand scale. Yeah, not that big. Make it a little bit smaller. And here's what shrinking actually costs you. Because this is where it all gets real. It costs you rooms you're qualified to be in. And I think that happened to me recently as well. It cost me a room and I'm regretful. I look back and I'm like, I'm regretful. And the truth is every time I go up to do something outside of my comfort zone, I feel a little bit of this. It wasn't just yesterday or the day before. It always comes up. But it's going to cost you rooms you're qualified to be in because you'll accept smaller spaces because they feel familiar. And that's going to cost you money. That's going to cost you income because you'll undercharge, you'll overdeliver, and you'll justify your rates. You ever had those conversations with people that you're like, I do this, I do this, I do this, and they're like, that's a little pricey. And you're like, well, because I have to use this and this and this and this is why I charge this much. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to justify your rates to anybody. FYI, it's also cost you ideas, lots of ideas. Those ideas, those powerful thoughts are in your notes app because you don't want to sound like it's too much. My notes app has so many ideas. And I just came up with some a few days ago and I was like, what? Like, we're so creative. We are creative people. God created us to be creative. We are created to create. So our state should naturally be creative. We're just always creating. And if you are creating and trying to keep yourself small, you'll think that is too much. So it's going to cost you your energy. And you're going to start putting on the performance of humility, right? You're going to be performing humility, which is going to be exhausting. Performing humility. Yes, I said that. And that's the kind of tire that no one talks about. What is it? Performing humility is when you downplay yourself in conversations. I've been guilty of that. It's when you pretend you're unsure even though you know. It's when you add extra disclaimers so no one thinks you think highly of yourself. And you start carrying the emotional weight of managing other people's comfort. Ma'am, we're going to step out of that. This year, the year of our Lord 2026, we're not going to be performing humility and we're not going to be keeping ourselves small for others people's comfort because that drains you. That is very draining. So here's what I did this week. I kept the bold sentence. I didn't soften it. I didn't add a disclaimer. I didn't explain myself. And I posted it. I sent that email. I sent that DM. And I trusted that whatever the outcome is, I'm going to be fine. And I let my nervous system feel uncomfortable for a minute because that happens. Whenever you're doing something new, something that you have feelings about, you're going to be uncomfortable for a minute. And that's okay. That's okay. I reminded myself evolving is not arrogance. Confidence is not a prideful thing. And it's not disrespect. So I don't actually need permission to grow into the next version of myself. Just because I'm clear doesn't mean I'm prideful. In fact, that's the best thing you could be, is clear, because it helps you operate in your best self. It helps you do your best work. It helps you operate, move forward with speed and with confidence, right? And that sentence alone shifted something in me because shrinking was an automatic, it was like a default setting. When you're expanding, when you're growing and you're shifting, that has to be intentional work. So if I'm going to launch this book without losing myself, I can't edit myself down every time I grow. And we tend to do that, edit ourselves every time we're growing, every time we try something new. There's a version of ourselves that we edit because we don't want to come off a certain way. And we may not notice it. That's why I want you to pay attention. If you're building something right now and you'll feel that subtle urge to dim it down, pay attention. You feel that sudden urge to shrink, pay attention. You feel that sudden urge to press delete on that email. You feel a sudden urge to play down your credentials, pay attention. If you've ever written a caption 3 times to make it softer, if you've ever minimized your success so it wouldn't make someone else uncomfortable. If you've ever thought, yeah, maybe I should just wait on that one. This conversation is for you. It is for you. And that's why I wrote Brain Interrupted. We often think that is talent that we lack. And we know that's not the truth because there are lots of people on the internet with, and I'm not trying to insult anyone, I'm really not, with no talent, right? Or the talent that they're good at is it's actually not what they're making money from. We see them doing the most followers, you know, YouTube, Instagram, all the things. And they're making it, they're doing it. So it's not a lack of talent. It's that we have a habit of shrinking when you're about to expand. You have a habit of shrinking. It's that habit of making yourself small when you're about to expand that is the issue. So if this episode felt personal, I want you to do this. Pre-order the book, Brain Interrupted, Outsmarting the 5 Mental Traps Holding You Back. That is your next step. And then I want you to share this episode with someone who hides their brilliance better than anyone else. We all know that's that person that's like brilliant, smart, you know, they are creative. They just have this way of thinking that no one else thinks and the way that they do things that it's just amazing, right? Share this episode with them. And then next week, we're going even deeper. We're going to talk about the pattern that shows up after visibility. I want you to stay with me as we're moving through these emotions that do come up, especially when you're trying to do something new, something different that you've never done. Okay? Take care. Until next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning into the Beauty Moves podcast. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment, as this helps improve my ranking. Take care. Until next time.